I just wanted to share a few things about Jim that you may or may not know.
Talk loud.
I consider Jim a brilliant person. He was very intelligent. I realized that when he came back from teaching in Central America, decided to get his master's degree. They lived in San Luis Obispo. He got it in 1 year at Cal Poly. And then he got a really good job in Saudi Arabia. He had a real facility learning languages. He told me once he felt as much Mexican as not because he thought like the Mexican culture, he could speak it fluently. He got their humor, they got his. And it was, he picked up the Saudi language pretty easily, I imagine, and able to, in order to do his job, at least well enough to do his job.
I didn't see the business side at all because
Yeah.
the women were segregated.
Yeah.
So I don't know about that.
He was very knowledgeable about finances, and that was one of the ways we related because our mother is elderly, and I take care of her finances now, and I often would go to Jim for advice because he knew so much about it. And that was the last time I spoke with him. It was about 2 or 3 days before he passed, and I had called with a little question about something to do with the finances. And then he told me it was almost like he knew on some level because it was like a goodbye. And he said, "You and your sister have turned out so well." He said, "You have such a good work ethic, and I'm just so proud of what great women you are." And he said, "I'm so glad that I married Barbara. She has been so helpful to me." And going through his, he was quite ill at the end, very weak. He could barely talk on the phone. I was shocked how he sounded very winded and tired, and he made the effort to tell me those things. And the last thing I said to him was, "I love you," which I'm so happy that was the last thing I said to him. The other thing that really sticks in my mind about Jim was he really took a great interest in my 2 daughters, and he would, especially the younger one, when she was in high school, he used to call her up and say, "Well, what are your plans for college?" And then when she was in college, "What are you going to do for your career? And tell me about your boyfriends." And she felt like she was getting the 3rd degree, and it kind of annoyed her that he was, quizzing her like this. But she told me recently that it really was helpful because by him taking that interest in asking her these questions, it forced her to clarify her thinking on these matters, and that was something that she really appreciated in hindsight. So he was a really wonderful person, and I enjoyed all my interactions with him. We went and stayed with them in Costa Rica for a while for the vacation. It was wonderful, and just a really great man.